Good morning everyone and welcome to episode 3 of KiteSOFAing. I'm Rob from Progression and today we're going to be talking about foot changes. Now primarily we're talking about foiling foot changes and you're going to see why in a minute, but also this all applies to your surfboard as well. So if you're a surfboard rider, even if you have no interest in learning to ride a foil, then everything we talk about applies to this too. So we're going to give you a bit of a background on foot changing, why we want to do it, and then we're going to do some demos that you can do here in your living room while you're on lockdown. Learning to do the foot change is both something that's helpful in what it allows you to achieve, but also the skills you learn through doing this quite complicated maneuver. It improves your kite skills, it improves your board skills, and then it'll have a big impact across everything else you do. And then it allows you to lead into a lot more tricks and techniques that you can then go on to learn. And the foot change itself, it is really challenging. It is one of those techniques that people really stumble on. Even people who kind of like have got it, you're missing that elusive kind of consistency that means you can just do it every single time. We're going to help you with that. And over the last 2 years, I've been working on this particular technique myself and working the whole time I'm learning it, I'm thinking, how do I teach this? How do I teach it to people? So I spent a lot of time thinking about it. And me and Danny, when we're running our Progression Live coaching camps and clinics and sessions, we've taught over 50 people to foot change. And that's given us a huge amount of insight into what are the major stumbling blocks. So there are 3 things that you need to learn. And this is what makes it difficult, is these techniques that you need to learn individually are all quite simple. But the problem is when we put them all together and we ask you to do them pretty much at the same time, it actually becomes pretty complicated. And then when you mix in different wind conditions, different water states, we're just multiplying the complexity of this particular technique. So the 3 things we need to look at, we need to look at kite movement. Its position when we start and then how we move it through the foot change. We need to look at board and foil position. How does that need to change? Where does it start at the beginning of the technique and how does it change throughout? And finally, we've obviously got our body. And this is a full body movement. This is a really dynamic. It's the first time you might actually be moving around properly on the board. So yeah, we've got our feet moving around, but also, we've got to work out what we're going to do with this big lump of meat on the top half of our body and how we position that to keep us nice and stable. Now today, the drills that we're going to teach you that you can do here in your living room are just going to focus on the body part of this. But thankfully, I've just released a foiling foot change video. It came out yesterday. I've been working on it for a long time and it covers all of those different areas in a lot of detail. So go and check out the video if you want to know more about all those different areas. But today, we're going to jump straight in and we're going to have a look at some beach drills. We covered this in the video, but here I'm going to show you in the living room, and over the next few weeks you give this a go, build up a bit of muscle memory, and when you do get back on the water, you'll be ready to go. Anyway, let's do it. Okay, so demo time. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at actually doing the foot change and getting our body into the right position, because most people when they do this just don't do it right when they're on the beach, and if you're not doing it right when you're on the beach or standing in your living room, then you're going to really struggle when you're on the water. We're going to over-exaggerate these movements because generally what happens is whatever we do as practice, we'll always sort of down-tune it a little bit when we're on the water. So anything you're learning in kiting, if you can try and over-exaggerate it, then when you actually do it, it'll probably be close to what it should be. You can see I'm already standing in this correct stance. If I wanted to, or if you wanted to, you can put your board down, you can stand on your board, and you can do these movements on the board if you like. Personally, I don't do it like that, and we don't generally teach it like that, just because when you're on the beach, particularly if you're foiling, your foil's all made up, you don't want to be taking it on and off. Key thing to do is work out how wide your feet need to be, okay? So this is my general stance when I'm riding my foil. It may well be on your particular foil, you ride with really a far narrower stance or a really wide stance. Work out what that is, get an idea of it, get rid of your board and replicate it So you're starting in this good position. So before we start, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to show you a couple of common mistakes that people make. Generally, I say to people, right, I want you to get into the start position. So front foot's pointing forwards, back foot is square, and you're going to think like you're holding the bar. So here I'm effectively riding toe side, say. So I'm riding on my toe side, the bar and the kite is over here, and I want people to get into this nice solid position. So I would stand like this on the beach and I tell a student, right, mimic what I'm doing. And then I get into this position and I look across at them and they're like, just kind of standing there limply, kind of either not holding the bar and just like legs are a bit soft and they're not really putting any effort into it. So this is wrong, this is wrong, this is right. Okay, so I'm standing here and I'm tensing the muscles in my legs, I'm engaging my core, my shoulders are back and I can feel I'm working my shoulders, okay? All my muscles are engaged and this is what you're gonna have to do when you do the foot change, okay? It's not a passive movement. You don't just kind of stumble around doing a foot change. Again, this is what most people do to start with, they just wander through it. And what I want people to be doing is, you can hopefully see my body is properly working the whole time, okay? All my muscles are engaged. It's an actual exercise, it's not just something we wander into. Okay, so we're into this nice engaged position. Muscles are all working, we're feeling that good. So the foot change is 2 steps. We're not doing that. People do this when they first start, and generally when you're on a wobbly foil or a surfboard, that doesn't work. Okay, so we're not jumping. And you know, the other big mistake that people make is they do this and they do this, right? So really pay attention to what I'm doing with my upper body through all this, okay? I'm stepping forwards and I'm stepping back. And you can see that actually my upper body kind of stays in that position. If I am riding back like this on my foil, when I step forwards, my upper body is over my feet, it stays there, okay? And this is what we want to be practicing. Okay, so 1 step forwards, 1 step back. That's the first thing you're going to think about. Keeping your shoulders and upper body forwards. The whole time, all my weight is down through here. Okay, very little weight on my back foot. And you can see, now I'm starting to do it. As I step back, all I'm doing is I'm touching with my toe. And you should feel like you can balance on that front foot and touch. Okay? Yes, we're massively open. You're never going to actually do this foiling. But it really helps. It really helps to tune your body into feeling this front foot pressure and keeping all this weight over the front of the board, over the front of the foil. So, also one final thing to think about. Look at your feet. When I step forwards, my feet are nice and pointed inwards. We're making, this is bad. We don't want our feet coming into the wrong position. We want feet level and we want them twisted inwards. So don't, while you're on the beach, think, well, I can just kind of step back and forth like this because it's a bit easier. Again, twist your foot back, twist your foot. Get used to that, feeling that pressure in your hips. If you're not that supple, that feels a bit difficult in here. That's really gonna be important on the board, because when you come out, you want to be in a nice strong stance because you've gone into this unstable position. You're dynamically moving around. We want to make sure that when we get to here, I'm on my toe side, that I've got it under control. One final thing. This is not what we want to be doing. What am I doing wrong? I think it's pretty obvious. I'm really straight-legged. You might start bent. A lot of people do this. And it actually makes you step back, and if you keep your legs straight through that last part. So we want our legs nice and bent, and we're going to go in bent-legged, and we're going to stay there again. You see how everything's just moving around there. And if you want to really force yourself into it, get really low. Like if this is what you need to do, if you need to come out on your toe side and be in control, and this gives you the control, then practice it on the beach. Practice it on the beach, practice it in your living room. That muscle memory will start to sink in, and it's really going to help you. What we generally do with this, we get our students to do 20 repetitions before they go on the water. every time they go on the water. So every time you come back in, quickly do some, go back out. If you're struggling on the water and you come in for a rest, do another 20 reps. Real fast, just jumping back and forth. And you really will start to notice the difference. So there you go, that's your little practice for today. Cool, well hopefully I've given you some homework there that you can work on. Go and check out the foiling foot change video. That's going to help you with your kite movement, it's going to help you with the body movement, it's going to help you with the board and foil movement, and you're going to be able to bring all those things together. And I guarantee you, even if you can get 8 out of 10 foot changes at the moment, if those last 2 are eluding you, check out the video. There's going to be something in there you're going to watch and you're going to go, that is the thing that I was missing. Get into surfing and the surfboard side of things, we've got the whole range of KiteSOFAing Volume 1 collection. That has foot changes in all of the carving term videos. So you can check those out if you want to look specifically at what you're going to do on a surfboard. Anyway, thanks for watching all the videos. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the great comments. Keep giving us feedback. Keep letting us know what you want to see next. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you out on the water soon.